Leadership for me is influence. It's influence, man. It's looking at people around you. It's influencing them to do better. It's inspiring them to see the vision. I think as myself, as a leader, there's a lot that I have to learn because I made a lot of mistakes in trying to be a leader of myself, trying to allow myself to go in the right path. And along that path, we make a lot of mistakes. What I can do for you is to be patient enough for you to learn. Understand? And I'm not going to push you. I'm going to allow you to deliver the service. But I'll keep on trying to remind you that you need to honor that, the agreement that we had. So I'm a silent customer. You don't serve me well. I'll keep quiet to receive your service, but I'm not coming back. And when I ask for a service, normally myself, it's because I want it within a definite time. I'm ready to pay immediately, and I want it within a specific time. I already have the time frame when I want that product. You don't keep time, you don't value me. Because time is of essence, time is value. So if you don't respect time, you don't respect my time. And I say we meet at 12, then you come at 1, that means you don't respect me.
Help me welcome back, Mr. Koziba, Sebina. Yes, sir. Good to have you back, my brother.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me back here.
Actually, I was telling you before we started rolling that. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Deep Dive Sessions. We're here back again with some good content. And we're here with a man that you're very, very familiar with. Somebody that stepped on the stage of Deep Dive Sessions and we've had great conversations with. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome back Mr. Koziba, Sebina. Yes, sir. Good to have you back, my brother.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me back here.
Actually, I was telling you before we started rolling that you were a panelist not so long ago. I think a few days ago, I was watching you as a panelist. And you were hitting points. I was just in the back. I was like, yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah, it was quite exciting, Yeah. We are always there to try and make the world a better place.
For sure.
Yeah.
Sure, and I like your insights because one thing I've realized about you is you always try to bring things down to the personal level.
Yeah.
In sense of even when you're making a point, you say, okay, so this is what happens. But you're not abstract. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You can take a concept from here, then you take it down and break it down. Is this something that you intentionally looked into in terms of how you're speaking because you're an avid public speaker?
Yeah, definitely. It's something that I really believe in and, believe that it can help people understand where I'm coming from and what I'm speaking about.
Yeah.
I need to make things real before them so that this guy, they should not think, oh, this guy read a book and now he's quoting a book for us. They should see that this is the life
just
that,
regurgitating the book.
They can relate to the lifestyle that I'm living. They can relate to my examples that I'm giving. So I try to break things down and make them as personal as I can, but without also trying to use it as a template for someone to do things, so that you have to allow you to explore the world.
Yeah.
But I just give you a bit of what I've experienced with the potential that, no, you can explore a much better world outside this.
Definitely. Because I was watching you, and then after being hyped, I was like, I need to steal that. Because I saw it connect with people in the room as we were talking. You're giving an example. Actually, you're talking about the book.
The book, yeah.
Which you're going to talk about right now. And you're giving an example of how unserious we are sometimes the service providers in Botswana. Actually, walk us through that story. I think you tell it very good in terms of how you got the printing of the book.
Yeah, I think that speaks about business generally in Botswana, how we do business, especially that there have been an ongoing campaign about support young people's businesses, support local, they call it support local. And we really try our best to support local where we can, and we do our best in terms of that. So when I was printing the books, I contacted about 3 suppliers of who do book printing.
Yes.
And one of them is the big company that I've been using for printing since 2017 when I started writing books.
Yeah.
Then the other 2 were local, young companies.
Yes.
I just contacted and dropped messages and said, please, I need a quotation for a good number of copies for the book. So
you started with the smaller ones?
I started with the smaller ones, actually.
Wow.
Yeah. With the smaller ones.
Respect.
My intention with that was, if I could support you, and because you are small, you may need to give me the books at the time that I want. you go and tell me that there's a lot of other 10 people that want to print the books. I mean, you may find that I'm the only one. So you print my books right there, and then you deliver my books in 2 days' time. So that's what I was looking at. I say it's convenient. I can get my book done.
Yeah.
But I sent out the quotation. The person responded after close to about 10 hours. And responded.
This was way on WhatsApp.
On WhatsApp, After I called, the phone was off, and the person responded to my WhatsApp. I want to respond. I was like, okay, I'm busy. I'm running out a couple of businesses. I was like, okay, it's fine. You're running out a couple of businesses, but please help me with the quotation for this number of copies of books. I wanted out of 500 copies. I want the copies of the book. Please help me with the quotation. He said, okay. Quiet. Following day,
radio silence.
Yeah, nice silence. The following day, no response. And when I ask for a service, normally myself, it's because I want it within a definite time.
And you're ready to pay?
I'm ready to pay immediately, and I want it within a specific time. I already have the time frame when I want that product. Then. So I look at I have events coming up. I can't go to those events without the book. And I know the book takes 3 to 4 days to print if it's a massive production.
Yeah.
Okay.
How many copies were you looking to print?
Yeah. So she kept quiet for 2 days. And I went to my company that I used, the big company. Yeah. I just gave them a call. They gave me the quotation on my email in the next 20 minutes. And I went to them the following day. They already have my account. So I just dropped my copies of the book on the email.
Yeah.
They started the printing, you see. So I received my books within 3 days. But up to now, I've not even got the quotation from
those ones.
That's the thing.
How much did they lose? How much did they lose?
How much?
Yeah.
As in the printing.
Like, how much did they lose for not just responding to your
That
DM?
was about 25,000.
If you're watching this, my brother.
That's about 25,000.
Oh, sister.
Depending on the production of the book, printing 500 books, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Understand? And I could print 10, I could print 100, but I wanted a big number of copies because my launch is coming up at the end of August.
For sure.
So I needed to make sure that I have everything in place.
Ready.
I don't last minute things and all that. But I couldn't get the help that I wanted from them, so I had to look for an alternative.
Hey, so this is actually one of the problems with Support Local, eh?
Yeah.
We want the support, we're pushing for the support, but when we get it, we don't deliver.
Yeah.
We're not responsive. That happens to me a lot, actually, also. Just especially the one for the phone call. Like, it actually bothers me a lot. Like, if you are a business and this is your business line on your Facebook page and the phone doesn't go through, and I think also to a great degree, people don't understand how quickly you moved to the next alternative. Like how quickly people move from you to the next person. Yeah. Because there's a gajillion people that can do the same thing.
It's instant, It's instant. When you need something, for some people like us, I think if it's a weakness, it may be a good weakness for me. I don't have much patience to wait if I want something.
Yeah.
Anywhere else, I don't have patience. People around me, they know. But if I want something, I want it instantly. If I say deliver this, I know it is possible. It's not like I'm asking, building
for miracles.
Yeah, I know it's possible. So when I say deliver this at this time, I know it's possible. So I work on that. I don't even queue at the banks. Now I have my personal banker, so it makes it easier for me to...
you have your own suite.
to call, anything that I want, I don't need to go to the bank. I just give a call and then the person can assist me from anywhere. So
we'll get there one day, guys.
Yeah.
One day is one day.
One day is one day, right. So with that, I don't know how to... If I want something, I want it there. If I want a service, because I really want to do something about that. I cannot look for service today for something I'm going to use 3 months later. Then I don't have any pressure, understand? So I need to have a time frame. And most of the small businesses, they struggle with keeping up to time, understand? You call them, they'll say, okay, I'll deliver at this time. If you tell me you deliver at 4, trust me, I put my calendar to 4 o'clock. If you are not there at 4, I might as well call another person.
Yeah.
You only make me suffer a little bit because I already paid.
Yeah.
But I'm a silent
So you'd actually pay for another one?
No, I haven't yet.
I mean, in maybe not for the book, but if you're trying to get a service, and then you see that this person is not at for, you'd actually go to the next person, and even if you have paid this side.
It depends on how much I paid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on how much I paid and depends on the agreement we had. If we had agreement that you would deliver this thing at that particular time and you did not deliver after I paid, you return back the money.
Yeah.
It's just simple as that.
Yeah.
Understand? Yeah. So I have this thing of being a silent customer. I'm a silent customer. I don't complain. But
Hey, those are dangerous.
I don't stay.
That's what I'm saying. Because you don't know when you've pissed them off.
Yeah. I don't stay.
You don't know when you've pissed them off or when they're happy. Okay, when they're happy, you can tell because they come back. But when you've pissed them off, you're like, we probably messed up that time.
So I'm a silent customer. You don't serve me well. I'll keep quiet to receive just your service.
Yeah.
But I'm not coming back.
Hey.
And I don't know how many shops I've entered before that I'm no longer entering now.
Yeah.
No matter the emergency, I don't enter those shops.
Yeah.
And there are places I don't eat at.
Yeah.
Because of the service. And they don't know if they did anything to me.
Yeah.
But I don't say it. But I see, experience it. Then no.
So you'd rather not engage in terms of just tell them, yo, you actually messed up. But what if it's a friend of yours and say they did a bad business?
Someone can do that. I don't have to be doing that. Someone can do that. Personally,
I mean, if you and if I'm your friends, for example, and you're like, okay, I want to support my boy, and then you pay for something that I do, and then I do a terrible job or a subpar level, are you gonna come and tell me, hey, my guy, as your friend, this was nonsense. So you need to fix this so that I keep coming back. Or you're also gonna be like, hey man, you messed up once, it's done.
The best thing I can do for you is to be patient enough for you to learn. Understand? And I'm not going to push you as a friend. I'm going to allow you to deliver the service. But I'll keep on trying to remind you that you need to honor that, the agreement that we had. But that is the last time I push you.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's the last time I push you. I'm not going to... You started a business knowing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Friendship, I will put it aside.
Yeah.
But this is business. So imagine if you are my friend, the service you are providing me, I'm providing for someone else.
Yeah.
I was just the middleman. And I give the guy there my word based on what you tell me. And you don't deliver.
So now you look bad because of them.
Bad.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to compromise on that going forward.
I get that.
Yeah. Next time you become my friend, I'll engage you at my capacity.
Yeah.
But I'll go better when I know that when I need the service to be delivered at 4 p.m., it's delivered at that time.
Yeah. All right. I think that also speaks to, because even as you're talking, I'm touching on, aspects of leadership. You said you're not going to push the friend. Is that some kind of maybe your leadership style? In fact, let's talk about leadership itself. Because it's an overarching theme of what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
First, before we even get to your leadership style, what would you define as leadership in your own words for you?
Leadership for me is influence. It's as simple as that. It's influence, man. It's looking at people around you. It's influencing them to do better. It's, inspiring them to see the vision and allowing them to buy into the vision and be part of the vision. So it's all about influence. Yeah.
Its ability to get people in the vision.
Yeah.
And so for me, I think we're talking about John C. Maxwell's quote where he talked about everything rises and falls through leadership. And so I think to a great degree, as you're talking about leadership being influence, allowing people to buy into a vision.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about your style of leadership, the way you go about it. What is your leadership style?
I don't have one style of leadership. I think I have different styles depending on the circumstance and the situation.
Right.
Someone will say I'm kind of autocratic or a serious guy. If the situation allows me...
Yeah, you look serious.
If the situation allows me, you can't be breaking the laws and then allow me to be smiling all the time.
Yeah.
Understand?
Yeah.
If I put policies in place and principles in place, I expect those principles and policies to be followed to the letter. That's simple. You break them intentionally,
Yes.
then it becomes an issue with
We
me.
face a problem. So those policies, are those policies the ones you make, or you make them with the team?
Yeah.
Or how does it go around?
Yeah, it depends on the environment that I'm in. There are times where you find policies already there.
Right.
All you need to do is just I take those policies and then I train the employees. I train the people around me to understand and know my expectation in terms of performance and what
Delivery.
they can do.
Right.
So everyone should know and should have signed a copy that they understood and they've been trained on these policies.
But what happens if you don't like the policies? You're entering this place and they have these policies.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is not actually my style or what I like or how I do things. How do you then navigate that situation?
Yeah, that person should just go somewhere else where they like.
No, I mean in terms of just the policies you find. You were talking about when you are in an organization, you find policies already in place. What if some of those policies don't work to kind of your style of leadership?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they don't work to my style of leadership, I think there's always a room to amend. And policies are guiding principles.
Right.
All right. Then my style of leadership is based on, different things around those policies, around the people that I work with, around the culture of the organization. So it depends how I treat every situation. But the policies are just guiding principles to help us, push the values or the goals of the organization in the workplace. So if there's a policy that I feel that is not really favorable in terms of how the employee can act on it, then there's a room for amending that policy. We have to take through the proper procedure of amending the policy and then make it quite doable for everyone to be able to fit in easily. But otherwise, my leadership style is not really based on the policies. It's based on the circumstances around myself.
Okay. And so for yourself, because I believe we're personal leaders first before we're in corporate, for yourself, how are you as a leader, as a personal leader for yourself? Especially, how have you evolved over the years? Because, in the first podcast we had, I told you, I think the first time we met was 2017. And, I'm even seeing a whole different man in front of me today after all those years. There's so much that she has evolved. So as an individual, how are you as a personal leader to yourself, and how have you evolved before we go into the corporate leader? Yes.
I think as myself, as a leader, there's a lot that I have to learn because I made a lot of mistakes in trying to, be a leader of myself, trying to allow myself to go in the right path.
Yes.
And along that path, we make a lot of mistakes. We learn a lot of things that, no, but this is not how things are supposed to be. I was running companies of my own, and I could understand that if I'm going to run my company, there are certain things I can allow, you understand? And there are certain things I cannot allow.
Yeah.
So I used to be, I remember the time when I started the company, we used to have meetings at some restaurants, coffee. We would sit down there and start drinking coffee. And we'll be scheduling meetings throughout the day while drinking coffee in certain restaurants. And people really sometimes took advantage of that to say, no, and I said 10 o'clock, someone will come at 12 because
it's a restaurant.
It's a restaurant, number one. Number two, I'm still trying to win a client. I'm trying to win fame or my name or money. So I never really got the value of my time that I was spending that time. You understand? And it was not so good. Until when I grow up, I now get into the work environment, allow myself to learn how the real leaders behave. I had the privilege of being trained under John C. Maxwell.
The GOAT.
I had to learn,
Yeah.
The principles of good leadership. You understand? And one of them is valuing time. You get it? And after I understand that, I wanted to apply it to myself. And I started to test it with my friends. I don't have many friends around me because most of them, they did not keep time. So it's simple. You don't keep time, you don't value me. Because time is of essence. Time is value. So if you don't respect time, you don't respect my time. And I say we meet at 12, then you come at 1. That means you don't respect me.
Clearly, it's a non-negotiable for you.
It's simple like that. You understand? I used to, I think in Reebok, I had the privilege to be in different restaurants at the same time. So I'll be in one here because the other one is just across, right? Oh, no, I can't mention names. So.
Yeah.
That one is just across. So I'll sit there and then I'll set a meeting for 12 o'clock. 12:05, if you are not yet there, I just give you 5 minutes. That's when I can say I've waited. 5 minutes, I relocate to another restaurant. So when you come at 12:15, you be on yourself, by yourself. So it helps people end up respecting you because they know that this guy value time. And then I started working with people from expatriates. I worked with investors. So we formed up some investment companies or organization, and I was working with a lot of international people. There are only one or two Botswana, and most of them were Indians. So particular with time. When they say 1 o'clock, it means 1 o'clock.
For sure.
So I had to learn that, and the meetings, when they say meeting is 1 hour, by the time 1 hour elapses, first person starts standing up, whether the meeting is finished or not. You send the minutes.
Yeah.
Because we said 1 hour. And I said, so this is how business people do. This is like people who have money. They still value their time like this, even if they have money.
Yeah.
I'm not taking it for granted.
Lovely. I like what you're saying about the time thing. But a lot of us, there's even this saying that there's no hurry in Africa. I hate it, because it means it's implying that we're not time conscious people as a whole.
Yeah.
And my question to you is this: developing that time consciousness and that ability to be quote unquote ruthless with time, is it because of how it showed up in your own life? When you give yourself a task, this is me trying to say, you talking to yourself like, okay, I'm going to do this task for 30 minutes. I'm going to do this. Is that how you were able to get good at time? Or is it because of now the spaces you are in, drawing from inspiration of being with people around you like that made you like that, in terms of, because it's a very core part of leadership. I mean, you can be great at your job, but if you can't keep time, you're going to lose. Yeah. How did you develop that?
It both ways, from both my circle and myself also. I liked timing myself to say, no, this is what I'll do, and I'll take this amount of time. When I go for meetings, this is the time that I'll take, and this is how I manage my time. So I try to do my best to manage my time with my calendar, with everything, scheduling and a lot of things. And that's why sometimes people ask me, how do you manage having a lot of projects? Understand? And you are pushing all of them at the same time. It's simply time management. So I learned to understand the dynamics of time from both how I was trying to practice. So I'm not perfect. I still here and there get delayed by one or two things. Life on its own here, like it's you're bound to make mistakes, but it's not all the time, and it cannot be a mistake that you're wondering, is this person serious about life?
Yeah.
So, and then when it comes to the work environment, I needed to learn to practice that, to value other people's time. Same applies to, when you call people for interviews, they rather come on time or in time.
What does that mean when you say on time or in time?
Yeah, the difference between coming on time and coming in time. So when you come on time, to me, you are late.
Or on time.
Yeah.
If it's 7, you came at 7.
Yeah, when I say the interview at 10 o'clock, and 10 o'clock you arrive, to me, you are late.
Late because maybe your watch and my watch may not have the same time?
Not
or
really.
Because
you came on time. You came at 10 o'clock. I see that at 10 o'clock. I said arrive at 10 o'clock. Then you arrive at 10 o'clock. To me, you are late. I'll explain how I mean. Interviews or meetings.
Even on time is tough.
Interviews it's not something that you arrive and you jump into it. You need to take a breath. You need to prepare. You need to warm up your nervousness. Understand? So when I say 10 o'clock, then 10 o'clock you arrive and you want to sit down and you want me to interview you. you're not going to be very comfortable because you're just arriving, you're still breathing, you haven't yet
Yeah.
rested.
Sweating and all
So
that.
the best thing you can do is come on in time. When you come in time, you're coming 10, 15 minutes before the time I called you. So that you have time to, go through the interview preparation, breathe, do your breathing exercise, try to cure the nervousness, try to network with people around you and, feel home. Then when someone calls you, you are relaxed. So 10 o'clock, you arrive at 10 o'clock with a hula, and you jump straight to the interview. So that's the difference between being, I advise people, be in time, not on time. And same applies to me as an employer or as a leader. When I call someone to come for an interview at 10, I must be ready to interview that person by 9:30. So by that time, I'm already seated, browsing through the resume, just waiting for 10 o'clock so that I give you a call. So say, please, you may come in.
Yes.
Not 10 o'clock, still trying to find pens and papers and settling in. No.
So it starts with you.
Yeah, it starts with
I
me.
get that. So we were talking about personal leadership, and now we're going to corporate leadership. Already right now, we've identified that it starts with you as the leader, and then it trickles down to everybody else. But I think there is a complexity to corporate leadership because you're dealing with people with different characters, temperaments. It's complex. I mean, you can be great as a... Right now, there's actually a growing trend online of solo entrepreneurs. I make 1.2 million a year. I'm my only thing. I only use AI and systems to make my own money. I don't want to deal with people. But you are somebody that deals with people. And to a degree, to be able to leverage and grow and balloon whatever enterprise or endeavor that anybody is engaged in, you need people. Talk to me then about the skill. What is the number one skill that you feel that people need to be able, or that you impart to people as a leader that allows your team to be able to come through and move aboard, run with the vision, and be able to, be competent? How do you grow that competence of leadership in your team?
I think it takes a couple of skills, not only one. But like I said, if you look at the chapter 1 of the book, it reminds me of a song. I've written about it also. That is, it's a popular old song. It's called "Let It Start in Me." I like gospel or classic country kind of gospel.
Is it Gaither Vocal Band?
Yeah.
Is it Gaither Vocal Band?
It's sang by the vocal band. It's called "Let It Start."
I love that song.
"Let It Start in Me"
by David Phelps.
Right? David Phelps and the rest of the team.
Wow. So, I don't know you listen to that.
It takes me when it's in the chorus. I'm like, but that leadership is supposed to start in me. It's supposed to start in me. So whatever that I want my team or the people around me to learn, I start by implementing and living it. You understand? And when you live something, even if you don't say it verbally and with your mouth, they can see it. You understand? The greatest message you can teach someone in your in your workplace, in the corporate, the greatest message is not what you tell them. It's how you live your life as a leader. So if I tell people that they cannot come late, they must have seen it with me first, not coming late. And then it becomes a culture.
So there's nothing you tell them you expect them to do that you don't do.
Yeah, it becomes a culture. Then 2, communication. Then I need to now learn how to communicate with them. In the corporate, my brother, people fight by the email.
Keyboard warriors.
And then people fight with emails. And we need to learn open communication, professional communication. That allows that there's level of respect when you communicate. And people can now be able to understand that, this person communicates things. And then there's open communication, there's transparent communication. And once you do that, you open up or you open the door for people around you to be able to come to you and communicate clearly and effectively with you because you have opened to that. Then the third skill is listening. And then you must have the ability to listen to people. Listening also does not mean people are talking. And what people are doing, and watching them is part of listening. Understand? You can watch people, see how they behave, and try to understand and bring up a solution if you think there's a concern on how they do things. That is listening. You're listening to their actions, and then you do something about that. So they know that they have a leader who have a listening ear. When something is wrong, they can go to that leader. Now, I've created a culture where staff can come to me about their personal problems.
Wow.
You understand?
Personal problems.
I'm having some debts. I'm having some issues with my lover. I'm having some issues at home. And I sit them down and say, let's talk. What's happening?
Yeah.
You understand? Because
But how did you do that? How did you do that? Because, I mean, to get to that level of openness, I don't think is an easy feat.
Person takes a lot of skills, right? And what I did is I did not just become a corporate leader who stays in the office. You understand? I take time to go around the work environment to meet each and every staff member that I can meet.
So you're not a remote control leader.
Yeah, I'm not a remote control leader. So almost about, 90%, if not all of them, all my staff, I'm talking about 500 people. If not all of them, I know them by their names.
Wow.
Why? Because every week I take 1 or 2 hours. I go around every department to greet them, just to greet them, spend time with them, understand. If they tell me that we are busy, I should, see it for myself. If they tell me that they're short-staffed, I should see it for myself that these guys are short-staffed. So I understand what happens on ground because I spend time with them, I interact with them, I laugh with them, and through that, I noticed that I answer more questions on the corridor than at the office. People who see me on the corridor, they ask me a question about work things. I was like, oh, yeah, I'll answer that question and then we move on. Instead of them coming to the office, we don't find time to come to the office. It's very busy. Thank God you are here. So what do you say about that over time? That I'm able to answer, give them the answer that they want, and everyone is happy. And tomorrow when there's an issue, they know that there's someone whom you can talk to.
Yeah, I think the office is quite intimidating also, especially when you want to come ask for overtime or whatever. I wanted to ask you, as a corporate leader, 500 staff is crazy. That's a lot of people. So I'm definitely sure you're seeing so many, you have so many stories, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Talk to me about, I'm one of the people under you. You're my leader. I want to negotiate overtime, like you were talking about right now. And I think I want to negotiate overtime. How do I then approach you? What is a good approach to you? I'm trying to negotiate overtime or I'm trying to negotiate a raise. What is a good way to approach you?
To negotiate overtime and you worked overtime and you want that overtime to be paid.
Yeah.
Right. There are 2 ways to go about it. Either you come directly to me, but when it comes to things like that, I don't want staff to come directly, especially overtime, when they have the manager or the supervisor or the HOD of their department.
Yeah.
I've empowered the people, the HODs or the managers, enough to be HR in their departments.
Right.
So I don't handle everything as they come. Sometimes you come and say, what happened to my overtime? And then I say, have you spoken to your HOD, to your supervisor? And they said, no. Then I say, please speak to your supervisor. Tell me what your supervisor thinks. If you think you are not satisfied with the answer, then you can come to me. So that tomorrow when I resolve the matter, the supervisor is aware. Because he's also a leader and also someone who reports to me.
Yeah.
So we must learn, as much as I'm that friendly also, I also encourage them, follow the right channel, hierarchy, if you want proper answers. On the corridors, you can ask, the other question. But if you want proper answer that need formal answers, then please follow the hierarchy. Go to your supervisor, go to your manager, and then you can...
So once they have gone to the HOD, is there any cases that you deal with that are beyond? Of course, there are cases, but in terms of raises like that, do you say they've talked to the HOD say, okay, please escalate it to Mr. Sebina. Then it comes to you. How then do you handle such a case?
I just need to understand what they're talking about. I just give them an open floor. Say, please, you can express yourself and let me understand what you think about the overtime. Doing overtime, that you have done it, and what do you think we can pay you? Understand? I need to allow them to understand what the law says, what our policy says, and what I think is best in order to help the person. Sometimes I put what you call putting the human in the human resource. Understand? You don't need, I'll take the policy and put it aside and say, okay, you worked overtime. But the policy says if you work this overtime and it was not approved, I can give you a day off. But because of how you explained to me, we'll pay that time too, as per the law.
Wow.
Allow us to pay you for that overtime, and you'll be paid it by end of the month. So, but when it comes to issues of remuneration, I never want to frustrate staff about it. All the employees, when you have done overtime, you don't even need to come to the office to talk about it. You'll be paid by end of the month. It's simple as that.
Yeah. It's already signed.
Whether it was approved, it was not approved. As long as you worked, accountability will come. And I'm not going to ask you, because someone have to approve. So the person who is approving is the one who catch the fire.
Oh, yeah. I foresee some CVs coming your direction, sir. Because of that. This book says, the corporate leader, lessons to maneuver the rules of success in the corporate world. I'm guessing you're speaking to different facets that would allow somebody to succeed in the corporate world. Can you allude to maybe one or two rules that you live by that have allowed you to transcend this way? The last time you spoke, you're giving us some big numbers. People actually have to check that episode in terms of you don't even accept a salary that's below this much. So people actually need to know that you are the real deal. So kindly walk us through maybe one of your strongest rules of success in the corporate world and navigating it. Because there's a language, there's maneuvers. Yes.
Okay, one of the things, the strongest, I would like to read it because I put it here on my it's on the forward. It was written by Mr. Godrati. Only those who can do and do well are truly equipped to teach. Understand? Only who can do and do well are truly equipped to teach.
Yes.
And I came to understand that it's not about me. Especially when it comes to performance as a leader. It's not about me. It's about inspiring my team to be a team of excellence. You see that in page 10 of the book.
Yes.
So I live by excellence. It's the first chapter. It's all about excellence. I always wanted...
It's actually the first one, yeah.
Yeah, I always wanted excellence. I wanted to inspire people to be a team of excellence. And I lived by it. I make sure that everything about me is what? Excellent.
Can I please read this line? I think it's powerful. It's giving me goosebumps. Excellence in leadership is not merely a trait, but a continuous pursuit to a commitment to raising standards and a dedication to continuous improvement.
Yeah.
Yo.
So you raise standard all around, from, the guys in my office, was, hey, you understand? And they will say that because I'm putting up a standard. And this is a standard I put on myself. And the people around me, they will take themselves seriously, knowing that, this guy means business. You understand? That excellence, how you respect yourself in terms of your communication and your conversation. Now, conversation that I don't get to be part of. You understand? Because sometimes you need to stay away, step back a little bit and watch the game. Watch people talk, do everything. And if finish talking, they'll come to you. You know what I mean? And if finish talking, they'll come. So I learned about excellence. I learned about, commitment to leadership, to growth. This, for me, was growth. It was just a journey of self-discovery. And that's when I discovered that, I have the ability to lead a team. And I have the ability to turn the vision and the goals of the organization to be actionable and to happen. Understand? And that's why I've been trusted with that ability to be able to work with people.
Excellence. Sometimes I think it's such a word that is so spoken about nowadays, and I want to zero in on that. Because in your words, in your world, how do you define excellence? Because I can think I'm excellent, but somebody thinks, nah, you're subpar. What is the measure of excellence?
But I think you read the definition there, right?
Yeah, I read the
You read
pursuit
the
of-
definition.
for
This
sure.
is how I put it. It's a continuous pursuit, a commitment to raising standards, and a dedication to continuous improvement.
So if I'm trying to decipher it for myself, I'm looking at you right now, and I'm saying, okay, Mr. Koziba is excellent. Mr. Sebina is excellent. In 6 months, essentially, you should be unrecognizable to who you are right now. Is that what you mean by excellence? Because it's continuous pursuit.
Yeah.
Meaning that the excellence you have right now in 3 months, in 3 months from now, it's no longer
continuous and consistent.
excellent.
Yeah. It's a trait that is continuous and consistent. You understand? If you met me in January and you've been seeing me every day, you will tell some level of consistent standards on how I do things. My reporting, my email, how I send my emails, how I dress, how I communicate, how I lead my team, how I inspire them. You can see the level of consistent. And then, on top of that consistent, there's the level of growth. You could see some change in terms of, am I going up or down? So if you met me like you met me today, next time we meet again, you might see a better version of who I was today. Yeah.
Interesting. As a leader right now, what are you working on to improve yourself intentionally? What are the area you're facing right now?
Okay, I think I'm fixing the area of, multitasking that I'm working on.
But how don't you not multitask?
No, I multitask.
You have
a lot.
500. There's this going on. How then aren't you not going to multitask?
I multitask a lot. Multitasking a lot can be a weakness. It can be something that can affect you. You have to multitask, but there have to be an average or limitation as to how far you can go. I don't have a limitation.
So what are you telling me?
Yeah.
3, 7, 6 things.
You see. So how you manage your week based on what is coming, then prioritizing it, understand? Then you see what to multitask on to say, what's more important? So with me, the challenge that I was having is Mondays are my peak moments. I have more than 10 things on that day. Of them, that some of them, I can put them on Wednesday. So you find that my Wednesday, maybe it's open for meetings. Monday, I don't have meetings. I just work on documentation, reports, emails, all those lot of things that need to be put together. Then Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays, I'm start moving up and down. I'm not in the office most of the time. I'm on meetings, I'm moving up and down, I'm collecting, doing the permits, the application. There's a lot of things that are happening. So with that, it kind of affects sometimes my productivity. When I have a lot of things that I put, because by the time it's Thursday, something that was supposed to be due on Monday, if I could not complete it, I may not be able to complete it any other day again. But if I can schedule my meetings and try to mix them up with some of the projects that I'm doing, then eventually I'll be able to do everything and not slag behind. I'll give you a typical example. Yesterday it was Monday. I had a couple of projects like I'm doing or during the day. I was doing the meetings, I was preparing for some documents throughout the day. I was just preparing documents. And today I had an orientation that was taking full day. You understand? So yesterday, there's one of the things that I was doing that I did not complete. And I needed to complete when? Today. My deadline to complete was the last day of the month. You understand? And that is when? Tomorrow. Okay. But tomorrow I had other projects that I'm going to be doing. So I cannot be able to complete tomorrow.
You have to do it today.
So I had to complete when? Today. And today I had what? The orientation full day. I could not sit on the computer, not even a bit.
Yeah.
So that means now it's dragging till Wednesday. And Wednesday I have project to in meetings because my meeting day.
Yeah.
So I'm working on that weakness and how do I prioritize? How do I work around my multitasking? And recently, I got a new tablet. So this tablet has kind of apps that help me manage my time. So things are put there. I have someone who helped me with the meetings that when people come and say request for meetings, she table them up for me. And then I just synchronize them on the tablet so that I can have a proper view of what is happening. And that helped me a lot in trying to manage my time.
Interesting. So, hey, I think corporate leadership is
It's, yeah. That's
What
why
is-
this book is about, those lessons of excellence,
Yeah.
where I started, and I spoke about integrity, motivation, desire to learn, that if you don't desire to learn, you cannot be a leader.
Yeah.
And we are not the master of everything. You cannot say, no, I'm perfect. I'm a leader. I'm perfect. I know it all.
Yeah.
These guys are wrong. No, I allow myself to learn, even from my subordinates, because I don't know it all. Even my team at where I work, my team of in the HR space, I actually ask them a lot of questions. And then I don't want to try and find out and solve things on my own when I know that in my team there's an expert in that.
Yeah.
So good leadership is the ability to recognize talent around you and use it.
The ability to recognize talent around you and use it.
Yeah.
So earlier on, you mentioned that everything you tell your team you do. And I want to now flip it because to a degree it scares me. We all have personal biases and gray spots.
Yeah.
It's like also when you have a toddler, you can start to say, I do this because they're following my behavior.
Yeah.
Doesn't that scare you sometimes where you think, maybe my limitations will then start to reflect on them? And how do you navigate that?
Yeah, it does. It does come to my thoughts, but I just be careful with how I do things. There's that conscience, a constant reminder that, here I'm in the workplace. This is how I do things. This is how I relate with people. This is how I see. This is how I influence people. So I'm always having that constant kind of reminder to help me, live the life that others can learn from. There are a lot of things, like I said, I'm not perfect. There are a lot of mistakes that I'll make, and I'll put myself into question to say, but what am I doing? Am I doing the right thing? And will another person, if it's another person doing it, how will I
Respond,
react? You understand? And some people can tell me something. There are people who misinterpret actions, right?
Yeah.
So I had instances where people misinterpreted me.
You have an example so that you can put it into context for us.
Yeah. I had an example of where someone misinterpreted me. I spoke about it earlier, but not at my orientation.
Okay.
So when this guy joined, I told the guy that, what is it? According to the policies, right? If you stay 3 days and you are not at work, we call it absconding. That means you have deserted the workplace. All right.
Without communication.
Without communication. 3 consistent days without communication. All right. So I think this person kind of misinterpreted that. He did not want to probe to find out what does it mean. So one time, that's Christmas, I think, he got all excited and all that, and all of a sudden, it's the 3rd day, and he missed work. All right. So this guy, when he woke up on the 4th day, he was like, no, I'm already fired. Then
He decided, all right, done.
Then he decided to sit and not say anything. And after 7 days, I called him, and only to find out this guy expected like a call from me.
Yeah.
And I did not make the call.
You
understand? The team...
He expected the termination call or
He expected me to make the call and say, hey, man, What's
Yeah.
happening? Where are you?
Yeah.
I don't make the call. Until 7 days, I can't say what is happening.
Hey.
But
Oh, so he called?
I called on the
you
7th
called
day.
it? Okay.
Yeah. He'd been expecting the call.
Yes.
But somehow, the call he was expecting the call to say, oh, man, when are you coming to get your money? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
But I called out of consent to say, are you okay?
Yeah.
And that's when he started saying, let me come there, Mr. Sebina, and let us talk. I think I should have, I made a mistake. So when he comes, what's happening? Your manager tried to call you. Your phone was off. My phone is dead. So after, I could not communicate with anyone. And the third day, when I got my phone, you got the phone right after the third day.
And
So
then
he just
decided,
assumed, no, Mr. Sebina told me that if 3 days, I'm gone.
Yeah.
So I had to, that reflect on my communication. How you communicate, how you relay the message. So the person can misinterpret anything. And this guy...
So what does, what do you say? Absconding.
Absconding.
What does it mean?
Eh?
What does absconding mean then?
Yeah. It means when you are absent from work for 3 consecutive days without communication.
Okay.
So
but it has its penalties there.
The penalty is termination.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. When you do that, you have deserted. When you deserted,
you're forfeited.
The play, that means you quit.
Yeah.
We assume you quit.
Okay.
But we are just waiting for you to come back so that we pay you your last money, then you go.
Okay.
But according to the law, you cannot fire someone or someone cannot quit without a proper formal meeting, which you call it formal disciplinary inquiry. So we need to hear you before we can say, I think we really agree with you. You have absconded, so you can go.
So that's actually according to the law. You can't just say, you're fired. And then there's no conversation.
He thought, no, once 3 days I'm gone. So no need for communication. These guys will call me and pay me. And I called him, we sat down and said, no, that's not how we do things. If we communicated with you, or if you talk to us after your phone was okay, then we would have sat down, understand your situation, what really happened. If you need to put through disciplinary hearing so that we can pardon you or something, then we can do that. But communication is important. You see what I mean? So that's how we're able to resolve
it. It's actually part of the chapters, effective communication in the book.
Yeah. There's part of
that you explain.
Effective communication here on how you communicate.
Yeah.
Embracing diversity. There's a lot. If you look at
I'm actually looking at all these and I'm like,
there's so many
this is
chapters.
what it takes. Whoa. But there's 3 things that stand out to me. Conflict management, emotional control, and work-life balance. I was looking at them actually.
At that, yeah.
Hey, so when you work with so many people, different characters, it takes a lot of emotional control. So in your own experience, is this something that you help train people in terms of emotional control, how to deal with things, how to deal with situations where things go bad and all that? Because I think I was reading a study that explained that EQ in the workplace to a degree is even more important than IQ because you're dealing with people.
Yeah.
So emotional intelligence is prioritized actually nowadays.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Talk to me about
it.
it.
At the top, actually.
Yeah.
If you cannot deal with people, you cannot work well.
Because, just sorry to cut you, because I know people that are great at what they do. I was going to ask you this question, but I think I already know the answer to it. In terms of somebody who's great at what they do, but not really good with people. And then somebody who's good with people, but not really great. Which one is easier to train, or to help improve?
I'll be honest with you, right? You can teach someone the skill to do the job, but you cannot teach someone the skill to know how to behave.
Yeah.
Understand? So I'll hire someone or retain someone who know how to work with people, and then I invest in that person to teach them how to do the job. Than someone who knows how to do the job, because some things are attitude-based, kind of behaviors.
Yeah.
that if you don't have this, it's a soft skill.
Yeah.
If you don't have that soft skill, your hard skill,
Yeah.
in the corporate will be questionable.
Yeah.
Understand? Yeah. So most of the time as a leader, we try to invest also in training people in understanding EQ,
Yeah.
emotional intelligence, to be working around people. I'm lucky or privileged to have gone through the West situations in my growing up.
Yeah.
That allowed me to be emotionally mature at a very young age. It's quite a privilege that when things come to me now, I know how to handle them. There are people who can really, really make me mad in the office.
Yeah.
But I try to calm down to understand what's really happening to them.
Yeah.
So that I'm able to address the matter. But if you make me mad, then I become mad also. Then we'll be at loggerheads.
Yeah.
And there will be no solution will come out of it.
That's actually what you're leading to me exactly where I wanted to go in terms of conflict management and diffusion. Can you walk us maybe through an example that happened and how you're able to diffuse that situation in terms of tempers and everything? Because I'm sure things have escalated to your office.
Yeah.
This person, this manager and this manager, that lockerheads.
Yeah.
And, all of them have valid points. And, just kind of walk us through that and how you deal with that.
One of the examples I'll say, like you say, there's some people who came with the manager and there's just a lot of heat happening between them. And it came to my office for me to address. And first of all, I tried to take them separate because I had to make sure that they're calm and give them my word as an assurance to say, no, you know what is it? We got you. We're here for you. As your manager, I'm here to make sure that this thing runs smoothly. So I speak to them separately first to understand the situation from their point of view, try to calm them and have a conversation around it so that they understand how now to communicate. All right. Then after this, I need to mediate. And when I mediate, normally I don't mediate alone unless I feel it's a minor issue. I don't mediate alone. I'll call another manager from a different department or an external person, who can come in and mediate. So I'll be there with another person to try and build peace with the two people, mediate formally. Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. Bringing the other person on board.
Yeah.
I think it's also there in the Bible when it talks about when you have a dispute with your friend, you call the next person.
Yeah.
And then if they still don't agree, you call the next one.
And
then you keep escalating it until it gets to a point where they don't listen.
Definitely.
And so, how do you deal with hard-headed people? But somebody can be excellent at what they do, but they're very, very headstrong. They don't want opinions. They can't be channeled in a different way. It's hard to influence them. You said leadership is influence. It's hard to persuade.
Like that. You know what I do for something like that? I call it a spade. That is when now you will see the other side of my leadership style. Where I can simply tell you, you know what is it? I think you are wasting my time. Leave my office.
Hey.
So that it rings to you that I mean business here.
Yeah.
Understand? Because if you are always smiling and laughing with everyone, and someone can just, trample over your head and just step on you anyhow. So there are times when I have to make sure that I make them aware and become very firm on what I say. And you know what is it? No. That I cannot take. So the person have to rethink their choice of what they're going to do before they can come again.
No, I think that's actually great for you to have both of them. Where you can be smiling and having a good time with them, and also where you can be firm, because to a degree it allows you to be a well-rounded person. And then the last aspect is work-life balance. You have a full plate at the office. When you go home, you're a husband. How are you able to disconnect from that and connect into husband mode now and be the husband, not even bringing the being a boss at home. I don't know if that makes sense. We're able to disconnect and now be what you need to be at home.
The way I'm flexible and I change like quick. So first of all, one thing that I know is I don't take my work home. I don't take my work home.
Yeah.
When my work remains at the office.
Family time.
You understand? It remains at the office. Yes, I'm always on standby because working in the environment that I'm working in, anything can happen at any point in time. You need to get caught. That is okay if it happens. But once I knock off, I go home with my husband. The moment I enter my house, I'm there with my wife and my family, and I leave out that corporate guy being the boss out there.
Yeah.
Then I'm there. I'm a small boy. Understand? I'm a small boy to my wife. I'm a king. I'm also a husband to her. So it depends on the kind of boy or the kind of person she want to embrace at that level. If she want to embrace the king in me, then that king will come out. If she wants to embrace the boy in me, then I'll be a little boy in the house.
Yes, sir.
So it just depends.
Yeah, I think it's a skill. That one, just to be able to disconnect and connect. I think it's a skill. But as we wrap it up, kindly let us know where we can find this book, how much it is. Talk to us also about the launch happening on August.
Yeah, the corporate leader, it just came out, and the book cost 300 pula. If you're going to buy the book, I think it will be in all the stores after the launch.
Okay.
They're working around putting it in the stores across the country.
Okay.
But the book launches on the 31st of August, 2024 at Botswana University. We are starting exactly at 9 o'clock.
And he's a time man. All of you, he's watching all of you who will come late.
So you should check it out. You must come there and see what we mean. Africa.
African time.
African time. People come late in African time.
Yeah.
So you come, you find that eating snack leaving the place. So, the ticket for the event is 350 pula.
Okay.
That includes the snack and the book. But if you want the book alone, it's 300 pula.
So when they want to buy the book, they can just contact you.
They can contact me. My cell number is 74635228.
Okay.
Then I'm available
we'll link it below.
To drop the book, deliver the book, or for the ticket.
All right. So as my last question to you, as our parting gift, essentially, in terms of corporate leadership, what is the impact you want to have on the world in terms of corporate leadership?
I want to see better leaders who have two main things. All right. One, ethical leadership. Two, effective leadership. These are the skills I want to cultivate and to leave a world a better place when it comes to this. Because people believe leaders to be kind of corrupt, to be doing things, to be taking money for jobs, to be bribing or be bribed, all that. I want to help people to understand that you can be a good leader and be ethical and be very effective. So these are the two skills that I want to leave the world better place.
Ethical and be very effective.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, my brother.
Thank you,
It was lovely having you back on the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mr. Sebina. His book is out. Definitely check it out. Obviously, if you've watched the previous podcast, you would know it is a must-have. But without further ado, we'll meet same time, same place. All the links that he mentioned, even his number, will be in the description below. Be great. Thank you guys for watching this episode. We really hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. Deep Dive is dedicated to bringing you the most comprehensive and engaging information about business, personal finance, and personal development. Make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated with all our latest content. If you like this video, give it a like to show your support and help us reach a wider audience. And don't forget to share this video with your friends and your family who may be interested. Sharing helps us grow our community and connect with like-minded individuals. Leave a comment below and give us your biggest takeaway on this episode. If you're interested in being a part of our live studio audiences, make sure to register for the next show. Can't make it to the show? No problem. Check out our Patreon page to watch the full episode and get exclusive access to more great content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of The Deep Dive.